Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Remember the video I did, and I talked about what a lot of people may not realize during the hurricane and all the claims due to the property value being lost and the damages. That when you go to cash those insurance checks, I said this weeks ago. When you go to cash those insurance checks, the bank is not going to just endorse it and then let you cash in and go do what you need to do. Told you about that. I told you in some cases, what they'll want you to do is for you to sign it, and then they'll pretty much, you can get the repair started and they'll manage it. Well, this man right here is sitting down, a Florida resident, but and he owns some properties, and he received his insurance check. Here's the check, and he went to take the check to the bank. And he wanted the bank to go ahead and endorse the check, it seems. But looks like the bank kind of had other plans. So listen to this. Beach where sand still covers a beachside road here, and now some property owners trying to rebuild after the storm are hitting an unusual roadblock: a bank that won't cash their insurance check. On St. Pete Beach, moving on from Hurricanes Helene and Milton remains a slow, painful process. Here, sandy streets and debris-laden front lawns have yet to wash away, while efforts to repair and rebuild,
we had to remove the flooring, we had to remove the baseboards, drywall,
are leaving many property owners at the mercy of claims adjusters and insurance companies.
We need the funds to be able to complete our work.
So you can imagine the relief when Reza Razavi filed a flood insurance claim and his insurance company sent him a $20,000 check to start rebuilding.
This is the actual check.
So yeah, I mean, $20,000 is a lot of money.
It is. He said, "Oh, we're going to actually give you an advance check so you can get things going." I was a little surprised, to be honest with you.
In a good way.
In a very good way, yes.
Razavi owns several properties near the water, all of them damaged, including this beachfront rental in Paso Grill. This is prime real estate right here.
It really is.
These are pictures outside on the night of Milton and inside days later.
He had about probably a foot of water inside.
For Razavi, the first check from his insurance company is a giant step for him and his tenants, who were forced to move out until the damage is repaired.
Yeah, I never thought I would sit across from you and say, "Wow, fantastic, God bless insurance companies," but thank you, because it helps. It helps.
Until you went to the bank to try to cash it.
And then there you go. There's a roadblock.
That's right. Though his insurance company sent him a $20,000 check to start rebuilding, nearly 2 weeks later, TD Bank, which holds his mortgage, still won't let him cash it.
They informed me that they won't endorse the check because they have requirements.
Despite You see did you hear what he said? They informed him they would not endorse the check. Later, TD Bank, which holds his mortgage, still won't let him cash it.
They informed me that they won't endorse the check because they have requirements.
Despite providing proof, even a notarized document detailing the need for the money and how it will be spent, Razavi says the bank isn't budging, asking instead for more documents, including a claim adjuster's report, which is backlogged at least a month. Razavi isn't alone. His neighbor also got this partial payment from his insurance company, $2,500, but TD Bank won't endorse this one either. Said before, said again. Oh, that's my home unless you have a clear deed. And this is not uncommon. And a lot of people will face this, especially, during the economic downturn. Because people have been known in the past, is my understanding, people have been known when the economy is bad and something like this happens to go ahead, if the bank were to endorse the check. I'm not saying that everyone will do this or that this man will. So speaking in general, people have been known to file a claim and get a claim check. And guess what happens? After they've got the bank to sign the check, man, that house, people have a person I heard of had a job loss, and it was like, unemployment had ran out. So the house, it was like, hey, there was no money. When that check came, what do you think he did for his family? He just stopped paying the mortgage. on the money he had left, and he stayed there in that house until it foreclosed. Kept looking for a job, and then he used that money to go ahead and move out. That's what the man did. He was like, first of all, he didn't have the deductible. So he was like, yeah, they just stayed there until the very last minute, until it went into foreclosure. Then they had a nice sum of money, and they used that check to go ahead, hey, getting to pay 6 months for an apartment and, someplace to live, because times were challenging. He knew that they were not going to be able to stay in that house due to his unemployment issue and the amount of the house note. So he already knew that. So the banks are protecting themselves. They hold what? They hold the paper. They hold the mortgage. So a lot of people, especially during this economic downturn, I think we're going to see a whole lot of this. A lot of people are going, and what I mean, a lot of people are going to be caught off guard. So I think the worst thing you can do is to go ahead and say, oh, yeah, let me go ahead and get this work started and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to run down to the bank. You might want to call your bank and check it out. But this right here, I do believe it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. They're not going to be looking for it. And then before you know it, it's like, uh-oh, yeah, about that. So yeah, I said this would happen, and it's just business. The bank holds the mortgage on their property. They want to go ahead and protect it. I've even heard of banks saying, hey, the worker can get the work started. They can contact us. They're not going to be doing any, what is this, have the check down now with the bank. And then I've heard where they will actually send somebody out to make sure it's done correctly, up to code, things like that. And then release the money as needed. Oh, and by the way, let's say you have more damage and the insurance company writes more money. Let's say it's some money that's left over. Wow, you got that done. It's 1,700 or 3,000 left over because you found somebody else that could get it done. And by the way, they don't want any handymans or jack of all trades. They want somebody that is certified to get the work done, because again, they hold the paper. What if the homeowner that's buying it, what if decides to go ahead and walk off 2 or 3 years from now? They don't want to hear, oh yeah, Mr. Jack of all trades went ahead and worked on the house and it's not up to code. So they want to make sure the person is also licensed and bonded. There's no, oh, Mr. Fix-It Man, Mr. Handy Guy in the neighborhood. That's not going to cut it. Or Mr. Oh, my uncle used to have a roofing company. I think I know what to do. Not going to cut it. If there is any money left over from the repairs that are done, newsflash, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to go back to you, the homeowner. Psych. It is so not. Any money left over, again, the bank wants to control the check. That's how it appears to me. Any money left over, it'll go towards the loan, the back end of the loan, or maybe the interest. It's not going to go toward, oh, when they got this money, I got to pay. I don't have to pay next month's mortgage. Don't assume that. Call, communicate. So this right here. So as you can see, I told you. People are like, I'm going to go to the bank and get them to endorse it, and I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And yeah, so you can see he obviously still has the check, so he didn't leave the check with the bank. They're going to want more than likely him to endorse it. So the fact that he still has the check, yeah, they're going to want him to endorse it. Even on the check, that was only what, $2,500. I mean, really, 20,000 I can see, but 2,500.
Zavi isn't alone. His neighbor also got this partial payment from his insurance company, $2,500. But TD Bank won't endorse this one either. TD Bank is not commenting on either of the cases we brought to them. They're also not denying, though, holding up customers trying to cash hurricane insurance checks. Sending us this statement, telling us in part, to avoid delays, we suggest customers contact their local store before coming in to deposit or endorse an insurance check, so they can ensure they have all required documentation to help assist in the process. I don't think it's right. You would hope that a bank...
And this is someone else speaking.
The catastrophe has occurred in the area. Karen Rowling is a Tampa-based insurance agent and says while mortgage or lien holders may ask for proof of work when an insurance company pays out a full claim with a big check, smaller, partial payments don't typically warrant a deep dive. You would think that somebody at the bank could make an exception to say, oh, well, we understand that, yes, our normal protocol is this, but we're not going to follow normal protocol because this is an unprecedented 2 events back to back.
Yep.
Did you not see the video I did yesterday about the lady and the retirement of her husband? He died. And he did not have the necessary beneficiary form, so the money could go to her upon his death. He died at age 43, young. And what did they say? The same thing here. They're not going to make an exception. They are not going to make an exception. Someone said, hey, actually, it's 34 years. Well, I did it based on 24 years. If it's 34 years, it's a whole lot more money. You're talking about 10 additional years of compound interest. So where that money was, that check alone, starting at, I believe, was it $53,000 compound interest, let's say 6% for 24 years. You're looking at, I think it was around like 163,842. So if it's 34 years, you're probably well over $200,000. And the bank said in their statement, they weren't going to make an exception. Same here, not going to make an exception. When it comes to money in the bank, it's pretty much black and white. That's why that lady, she's like, oh, I think if Jamie Dimon knew about this, he wants to do the right thing. Ma'am, it's business. And the bank is doing the right thing, I think, for them. It's their rules. He didn't have the form. So I don't think, not saying she's putting Jamie Dimon on blast. Maybe, or said, hey, look at this, sir, I don't think she's going to get that check. I do not think so. So the money is sitting there. So this here, make an exception, then it's going to be everybody making an exception. And as you can see, looks like the bank is all in agreement. They're not making an exception. From $20,000 to the other person in $2,500, it's the same thing. So again, I just want to do an update on that. I told you people are going to go to the bank. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and cash my check. Yeah, about that. So this here, talk about life is business. Unprecedented event or not, life is business. The bank, as you can see, did not just endorse that check or just stamp it, and then let him go ahead and cash it or deposit it. So he's holding on to the call in the news. Sir, I think you are wasting your time. You can hold the check. The next check may come. Again, I think you are wasting your time. At some point, you may just have to endorse that check and let the bank handle things and get them what they need, that estimate. Even now, let's say if he had the estimate. Right now they're saying it's like, I'm like, why it's like 30 days? I don't understand that. First of all, he should have got, when I had a claim, you pretty much get a copy of the estimate with the check. So I don't understand why he doesn't have that. You should already have that because that's how you know it's supposed to match up. So I'm not understanding that. But think, that 20,000 can sit there. Let's say it's been a month to get all the documentation that they need, and it could be more than just the estimate on the property. It's going to gain some kind of interest. So yeah, wanted to go ahead and show you this is a perfect example as to what I was speaking about. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Have you experienced it? Do you know someone that has? But this right here, yeah, the banks are not just going to be signing checks or stamping them, as some people might think. It's okay, trust you to go ahead and get it done. Not happening. So unless you have a clear title, a deed to the home, this is pretty much how it goes when it comes to these claim checks. There's just no sign, let the customer go ahead and do their thing, or they're going to ensure that they get the the damage is taken care of. I mean, who wouldn't? But you just never know. You never know. Finances can change very fast. So anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share, and I'm out.